What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday morning. Well, I don't know when you're going to be listening to this. Probably a Monday morning, but probably not my Monday morning because today, for me, is the calendar date 12/30/2024. So we're a couple days out from the new year. I know everybody's starting to make their plans, kind of get their game plan together of how they're going to take care of their health, what they're going to do for themselves, all that good stuff. So you guys joined the right channel, the right podcast, and this is going to be a very beneficial season that we're going into. I know we're going to have a huge impact in our society and our community here in Moore, Oklahoma. For those that don't know, we also operate a private personal training facility called Transformed Health Initiative. You can look us up. transformedhealthcoach.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. So you guys check it out. Also, you can join our free Transform Health Initiative Facebook community group. So you just go search that out, Transform Health Initiative community group, and you'll find us there. I'm always posting, very beneficial information there, sharing my own training with you guys, why I do what I do, what that looks like, how I back up the things that I talk about, the things that I have my clients do. And it's a good time, guys. We have other people in the community that, will post their meals and their progress and motivational stuff and share stuff. And it's just a really cool place. So that's there if you guys want to use it. Also, we obviously have the podcast. We're starting to upload on YouTube. So if you're watching the live video or you're watching the video, I guess it's not going to be live for you. You're going to notice I'm looking away a lot. I'm not looking at the camera. So in some videos, when I do like a question and answer type video, I'm going to be looking at the camera because I don't use notes for those. It's just basically telling you what I know, what I've learned, things like that. However, for the official episodes, I like to actually take notes and really think out what I'm going to present to you guys because I want it to be as beneficial and valuable as possible to your journey, and not have just a bunch of fluff in there. So the Q&A episodes are really good too because we dive into more practical things that may apply, specifically to your life. But these episodes are more for educational purposes and to just share information with you so you're being empowered in your journey and in your walk, all right? So also, if you're on the video, you'll get to see me sipping on some coffee here in my Train with AK Fitness Coaching mug. So cool stuff there, guys. So just give you guys a little update. It's been a couple weeks since I've actually recorded a podcast episode. Although I record them ahead of time and put them out, stagger them out. It's been a couple weeks because our household has been dealing with this upper respiratory infection crud that's been going around and has been kicking our tail. Between having 4 kids, and my wife is also a teacher, so she's around kids constantly. We have 5 people in our house that are around hundreds of children on a regular basis. And our house is a revolving door for viruses apparently. But this season's been crazy, and I know a lot of people have been getting sick and dealing with this. I've had clients out with the flu, COVID, stomach bugs, all kinds of different stuff. So it's definitely sick season in full effect. I'm just coming off of it. This is like day 2 of being back at work. I actually took like 4 or 5 days off, which I never do. And it's just because I was dead. Like I was in bed, I was sick. It just was not a good situation. But we're on the up and up from that. So feeling mostly better. Still feel some fatigue there, just kind of drained a little bit. But I think part of that is because I didn't do anything for 4 or 5 days. So there's that aspect. And, I just finished training myself, and I like to do these right after I train because I feel like I have the most mental clarity and the most awareness, and just, I'm excited and motivated to get stuff done. So just finished training and, just kind of eased my way back into it. Started a new mesocycle because I basically took a whole week off of training. I think it was like 6 days without lifting at all, really doing any type of movement, of any significance. So basically started a whole new training block and just easing my way back into it. Because that's a big mistake a lot of people make. And I'm actually going to do a post about this in the community group. But a lot of people make the mistake when they get sick and they're down, they try to go right back to what they were doing, or they just try to go hard to make up for the time. And that's one of the worst things you can do, guys. I definitely do not recommend that. You want to ease your way back into training, okay? Because your body is still weakened. You know, you still have fatigue there. Your immune system may not be back to where, you know, it's supposed to be. And you're not where you were when you stopped training. So you shouldn't be going right back to where you were. So you may feel kind of weird, and you may not like the fact that you have to back off on the weight a little bit, or maybe some volume, you know, take some working sets out, or, you know, remove some exercises for a little while, or, you know, the most important one is back off on your training intensity until you start to feel normal again. So that's what I did today. You know, definitely lifted less than I have in quite some time, less volume, less reps, but I definitely felt the fatigue there. So it was a great call, and I'll probably crush all my numbers next week, which is great because, you know, bam, we're back. Just give it a week or two after being down, and you can pick back up where you were, right? So that is a little update on my life situation. Also, if you're on the video, you see I have a new mic and mic setup. So I have been slowly, you know, building up accessories and things like that for the podcast as I've been doing it and falling in love with doing it, and, you know, getting excited for what I have planned for you guys in the future. So I've added a couple new mics so we can do live interviews for our interview episodes that we're going to be doing. That's going to be really cool. Very, very motivating. Going to have some great, inspiring people that are just like you and me, who decided that they're no longer going to choose to lose, that they're going to win on purpose. And that's what we stand for. So, yeah, hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully it sounds quite a bit better than my other one, which is back here still. It was a decent one, but it served its purpose. And now we have to upgrade, because we should always be trying to do better, right? That's how we win on purpose. So, cool thing there. All right, guys, so that's enough of my rambling. I'm just going to follow up with one thing before we get into the content that we have for you today. And that is, if you guys don't mind, would you please, if you're on the video, share this video. If you're listening to the podcast on whatever streaming app that you use, please give us stars, give us likes, give us comments. Like, all the engagement really helps these algorithm systems push up podcasts and episodes and things like that to the forefront, so more people have access to good information. So really appreciate if you guys would do it for me. Oh, and last thing I want to say, guys, I'm getting it all out. Like I said, it's been a little while. We are dropping new merch. You can find this at our Square online store, which is in the link in my bio, and I will add a link to the show notes to where you can go purchase. We have the Win on Purpose logo. Sorry, I'm going to say Win on Purpose podcast, but it's just Win on Purpose shirt. Really, really cool design. Really like it. And then also, I am actually today going to be releasing our new Train with AK fitness coaching merch. So we have this beautiful Oklahoma flag, because, you know, we are in Moore, Oklahoma, and we love the home state, with a little dumbbell in the middle of it to mark Moore, Oklahoma, because that's where we're at. And then on the back, we have the Train with AK fitness coaching logo, which you see here on my coffee mug if you're watching the video. So really love you guys' support there. Everybody loves shirts. Everybody loves hoodies. Everybody loves representing. So show the local boys some love and the local team some love if you're in the area. And if you're not, you can order online and we will ship it to you. Free shipping. And I just threw that out there because, you know, when you're doing it yourself, you can make the rules yourself. So free shipping if you are out of the local area. If you're within the area and you want to buy, then I would love to meet you, or you can come to the gym and check out the gym and then get your merch there. So that's all on that. All right, so what we're going to be doing on this episode and for consecutive episodes, we're going to be doing a little series, I guess you can say. And the name of that series is Let's Talk Macros, okay? Macronutrients. You may have heard that term, you may have not. Well, you're going to know all that you need to know by the time that we're done with this series. I plan on making you guys little mini nutritionists, all right? Now, you can't take that title and use it, all right? But you're going to know enough to know how to break down foods by sight, to know what's what, to know what you need for your body to fuel your body properly, okay? That's how we went on purpose, because we take care of our health, and that helps us take care of everything else, all right? So this is part 1 of the Let's Talk Macros series. And part 1 is, what are macros? Okay, it's a good question. We probably need to answer this question before we start breaking down the macros and the calorie content and how it, affects your body and things like that, I would assume. Let's get this covered. All right, so I'm going to take a little sip of the coffee. All right, so macronutrients, what are they? They are nutrients that provide calories or energy and are required in large amounts, hence the term macro, to maintain body functions and carry out the activities of daily life. So there are 3 broad classes of macronutrients. All right, we've got protein, we've got carbohydrate, and we have fats, dietary fat. Okay, not body fat. That's adipose tissue. That's the correct term for it. We're talking about the dietary fats that we consume. Every piece of food we put in our body is comprised of some ratio of these macronutrients. So having a basic understanding of what they are and how they affect our body is important if we want to win on purpose and improve how we look, feel, and perform in our daily life. Understanding what macros are and how much are in the foods we eat will aid us in understanding how food affects our health and what changes we can make in our food selections to allow food to work for us, okay? Food is a gift from the Most High that He created, that He put on this earth for us to consume, to fuel these machines. Our bodies are basically machines, and He's given everything that we need on this earth to fuel our bodies properly. Thank Yah. All right, so let me get back to where I was. It empowers us to make, and now the knowledge of macronutrients empowers us to make informed choices with our diet that will lead to the results we want, rather than being led and controlled by our appetites and cravings alone, all right? Because that's a great way to set ourselves up for failure. If you're listening to this, you probably already know that, and I can definitely attest to that, no doubt. So let's look at the calorie breakdown of macronutrients, all right? So protein contains 4 calories per gram. So for every gram of protein, there's 4 calories. For carbohydrates, same thing. For every gram of carbohydrate, there's 4 calories. Now fats is the difference, okay? It is the trouble child, just kidding. But fats contain 9 calories per gram. So for every gram of fat, there's 9 calories, all right? This is very important to know when it comes to energy balance and figuring out how many calories your body needs to operate based on what your goals are. So losing weight, maintaining weight, or gaining weight. And, it's very important to know which foods you should be selecting based on what your goals are, because based on the ratio of these macronutrients is going to determine how many calories you're consuming. And so by playing with the different macronutrients, especially when you know that fat has almost twice as many calories per gram as protein and carbs, it makes it a lot easier to set up your diet and figure out how you need to eat for your goals. So looking at protein first, okay, because protein is first, and it is the priority and is the most important macronutrient. Protein is comprised of multiple amino acids, which are the building blocks of our body's tissues, specifically muscle tissue. However, protein isn't just to grow and preserve muscle. There are hundreds of other processes in the body in which protein is necessary. So carbs and fats, all right? Carbohydrates and fats are what you call energy macros. The majority of the energy we use for daily life and activity comes from carbohydrates and fats that we ingest, or the energy in the form of body fat, which we store for later use. And body fat, adipose tissue, is comprised of triglycerides, fatty acids, and these fatty acids are converted from carbohydrates for the most part. So it's kind of fun fact there. If you look at some of the studies on what actually gets shuttled into fat cells, it's very, very, very minimal actual dietary fat. It's almost all carbohydrate, okay? So all 3 macronutrients are important for health and performance, but protein and fats are the only 2 we technically have to have, that we have to consume, as our bodies are able to convert fats and proteins into carbohydrates by a process called gluconeogenesis, or the converting of protein into fats, or the converting of protein and fats into glucose in the absence of carbohydrate intake. So with that being said, because a lot of people in the different diet camps, like the low carb camp or the carnivore camp or the keto camp, will say, yeah, this is why we don't eat carbohydrates, because we don't need to consume them, because our body can make all the carbohydrates that we need from our protein and dietary fat and body fat. So, we don't need it, so you don't consume it. And that is not the way that we should look at things, all right? Just because we don't absolutely have to consume carbohydrates does not mean that they don't serve a very important purpose in our nutrition, in our health. Our brain runs off of the majority of glucose, which is carbohydrate. There's so many different things that carbohydrates are used for, especially sports performance. So if you're a lifter, if you're active in the gym, or you're active physically, which you should be, this is very, very important to understand how beneficial carbohydrates can be into your plan and your program. So don't skip the carbs just because people say you don't have to have them, all right? There's a lot of things we don't technically have to have, but it makes a huge benefit to our life. For example, you don't need running water. You don't need a shower. You don't need a toothbrush. You don't need a stove or a microwave. You don't need an oven. You don't need a refrigerator. You don't need a car. You don't need a job. We don't have to have all these things. However, they make our life a whole lot better, which should be something that we want. So, that's just a little analogy when it comes to consuming carbs. Moving on. On average, we as a society are very efficient at getting in plenty of energy macros in the forms of carbohydrates and fats. That's not a problem with the standard American diet. But we're not so great at reaching adequate protein on a daily basis. In a society where we tend to hyper focus on being over fat, we should probably focus more on preventing becoming under muscled. And that's a term that I actually pick up from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. Definitely check out her content, her podcast, anything that she puts out, especially in the realm of protein and the importance, especially for the importance of women consuming adequate protein. She's a great source to listen to. We need, again, let me back up a little bit. We should be focusing more on preventing becoming under muscled, and adequate protein is a big part of that issue, along with a lack of weight training, okay? If you are having trouble building or maintaining muscle mass, feeling satiated after or between meals, and losing bone mineral density over time, if these are all concerns of yours, increasing your daily protein consumption may be something to consider moving forward, okay? So this gives us a quick introductory breakdown of what macronutrients are, of the 3 macronutrients that are super important. Now, some people will kind of group fiber in as another macronutrient. I don't think it's a macronutrient, technically, but I see where they're coming from on that, and I do think that there is a big benefit to consuming adequate fiber. So that's a subject for another day. So that's all we got on this one, guys. Hopefully this is beneficial for you. Stay tuned for the other parts of this, because we're going to break down each macronutrient in detail. I'm going to tell you exactly how, at least some of the ways they benefit your body, because we could be here all day just we can be here for months talking about just the benefits of protein. But I'm going to give you a general breakdown of how these 3 macronutrients are beneficial, what they do in your body, how you can increase and get more of them into your diet if need be. And also we're going to cover some misconceptions about some of these macros, specifically carbohydrates, because that seems to be the macro that's most demonized in society today. All right. So whatever you do, I want you to do something good for yourself, something good for your health, something good for those you care about. And whatever you do, make sure you win on purpose. Talk to you.